Jeff Probst opened this season with a speech unlike anything I've ever heard him say at the top of a premiere. No, it actually wasn't about how unique Survivor is, how life-changing it can be, how optimistic and positive your outlook should be to win the game. Nope, wasn't any of that stuff, but instead how someone in this group is literally drawing dead and already the ultimate loser.
And you all right now believe you can win this game. But it's simply not true.
Jeff, come on, they just hit the beach. Internet, here's the thing. Jeff isn't entirely wrong. Many years ago, I started this True Contenders series built upon the idea that only so many players really stand a chance to win, and the rest are theoretically drawing dead. These true contenders are who I believe are those elite standouts on any season, the ones that show me the most potential either in the game or in the narrative. And then on the flip side, you got the players Jeff's talking about in that monologue. I pick 4 contenders because it's just a nice arbitrary number. It could be actually as low as 1 or as high as like half the cast, although really I have a ranking that changes with every episode based on what I get. But either way, let's talk about the cast of Survivor 46 and all these losers and who we all think is gonna take the crown. And before I get to the top 4, before I tell you who I think are the true contenders to win, I want to know from you, who are your top 4? Who do you think is going to win this season? I say it thrice a year, but it's better to get your picks in now than say at the penultimate episode because, well, hey, bragging rights, right? Let's break it down by tribe and start with the green flock of Sigas. Siga is my vibe tribe of the season. They're just the cohesive, happy-go-lucky bunch who do have cracks, there's a clear structure, but ultimately, they just can't stop winning. Can't stop, won't stop, or at least they're not getting themselves hurt in the process, and I have a sneaking suspicion they are all making it to the merge if Jem's idle clue is telling us anything. Good vibe tribes tend to fare pretty well in the first half of any season, and there's a strong group of contenders here, so let's just parse through them. First up, I could be wrong here, and holy crap if I start my video off going in this direction, but I'm not really vibing with the chances of Tim or Mo. Or wait, is that lit? No, that's Mo. Tim is one of the less standout players thus far and likely the first to go if they do lose. Meanwhile, Mo had a fun little introduction in the premiere about having trouble making friends, but well, then she found her footing in the next scene and now has friends. Mo's space is pretty much set, and I just want to see her and Liz interact more if they both make the merge. I also like Ben, and I can't believe Metallica actually DM'd him. That does rock. It would be kind of funny if he got rocked out of the season after this catchphrase catches on, but right now, I am just kind of lukewarm on him as a contender. He is a character, and he's kind of the tribe mascot, fueling their positive disposition, but I don't have much else right now to prop him up. He did seem to get away with his lie about the lost vote on the journey in episode 3, and he is one of my fringe picks who almost was a contender in my top 4, but I'm just not there yet. Now, the big 4 of this tribe are Charlie's Angels, and I think Charlie, while the focal point of that group, clearly isn't a contender for me, if only because he is just all about fitting in and how meta aware he is of this. And then he does, and then he's just perfect. I almost feel like his story is aligning all too well, 10-minute version, too soon, too much for me. He's Siga's narrator. He's like Drew for Reba last season. He's compared to a past Survivor great in Malcolm. And yeah, he's Survivor Philippines Malcolm, Taylor's version. But, Charlie, Malcolm didn't win. Oh wait, no, that's the strategy, of course, so meta. But you know who did? His Denise, Maria, who is my first contender of the bunch. Maria is strong, she is built for this. You see her carry that giant puzzle piece. She is a mom, and I did technically pick Julie last season, who got pretty close to winning, but she tells us that she's gonna run the game, not just as a mom. In fact, she doesn't want to be a mom at all here. And I can see it. Remember how she got Jelinski to fold in that card game? The man folded like a lawn chair. She's in a 3-person women's alliance, she's in a 4-person majority alliance with Charlie's Angels, and she is in a strong duo with Charlie himself. She is the Denise. She's laying low, strong where it matters, and it's always better to be compared to a winner. I will say I do think she needs a little more content going forward, but you know, given her tribe is looking good and on a fast track to making the merge, we might have to wait for her to start going 90 and a 60 in that minivan. And that leaves us with Jem. Let's talk about Jem. To me, Jem is pretty much every edit hunter's wet dream. Did he just say hunter? She has got the best winner's quote in the opening montage of the premiere. She has proven to be smart, under the radar, in a great position thus far. Her alliance is defined, she found the idol clue ahead of anyone else, and she even put her hands up in the position of a V in the intro, and if that doesn't stand for victory, I might as well hang up my hat and call it quits. Or, at least, that's what the edit analyst in me wants to think. Truth is, Jem is all of those things, and likely more, but I do wonder if she needs more. I don't feel like I know Jem that well yet, and outside of Erica, that's kind of uncommon in recent history for winners. But then hey, you know what? If she is the winner, she's got plenty of episodes ahead of her to make it happen, and heck, Dee didn't even get to talk about her family in the family letter episode that happened in 45. I think Jem has immense potential, and I've got my eye on her. Dare I say she is a gem? Or just maybe perhaps I'm biased as someone whose channel is a portmanteau of two gemstones, a little bit of trivia, but I wouldn't be shocked if she is our next champion, as she is my second contender in the cast. On the flip side, I would be kind of shocked to see a purple player win this season at this point, because Yanu is another tribe in a long line of recurring disaster tribes in Survivor. Maybe that should be its own video topic in the future. You know what? I'm actually gonna go quickly crunch some numbers. Give me 1 second. Whew, okay, I'm back. And wow, by my calculations, only 7 winners have ever emerged from these types of tribes, the ones that are basically disasters out of the gate. And I am hard pressed to look at that number and then look at this purple group and be like, yeah, I'm all in. But I will hedge my bet, play it safe. I will pick one because they've got a lot of focus in these first 3 episodes, and even though it is very circumstantial, it is still something substantial, and that can't be said for everyone on this season. So, between Q, Tiffany, Kenzie, and, wait for it, Banu. I know this might sound ridiculous, but I am actually going to pick Tiffany. I'm not picking Banu. She is my purple contender thus far, and I think that she is the strongest of the 4 remaining. I mean, like what? Would you really want me to pick Banu here? Q is actually another decent pick, but his random scene about quitting in episode 3 was just so out of left field, and he's constantly trying to thread the needle between 2 groups, but he never goes with what might be his better instinct, to cut Kenzie sooner than later. The amount of foreshadowing with her being his demise almost feels like it has to happen. And like, sure, okay, she's just Kenzie, but she's clearly the biggest threat on her tribe at the moment, and after Banu spilled their entire dynamic to everyone on the cast, I gotta say she is fighting an uphill battle in the dark, and Godspeed, Kenzie. Tiffany is the most well-rounded of this bunch. She's a hard worker. She deciphered that idol clue like it was just nothing. She's actually in the best spot of anyone on this tribe, but it's not getting reported enough. She's got Q, she's got Kenzie, she's not painted as this big target. She's got an idol, and she's got a good head on her shoulders. She wants to win badly, and I see it, and I see her, and she's a contender. And then we have the orange Nami tribe, and oh my god, I can't get Liz chanting their name out of my head. I've lost sleep over this. Just make it stop. Off rip, Liz isn't winning. But that's okay, because she seems to be doing well regardless in life. I also don't think Soda is winning, not after that flashback that just totally threw her under the bus about snatching the idol from Venus's hands after every challenge. I can't believe that was shown, and I am dying that it is a part of this tribe's storyline, and it basically just took the wind out of my personal Sodar to tell me Soda is gonna go to. The big 3 on Nami are Tevin, Venus, and Hunter, and of these 3, I think this might shock some people, but I am least confident with Tevin. Would it be too on the nose to have him narrate that opening intro of the season over Jeff Probst only for him to go on to win? Tevin is a main character, but often these players don't really take the crown, they just drive the narrative, and while I like his strategic positioning right now, and I think that he has a lot of personality and charm that could go miles for his win equity in front of a jury, it could also cost him, as he might be just too much of a threat, or even create too many enemies if it goes the other way. He claims this is his island. Did he like buy it from Troyzan on Zillow? And if he is the shot caller that he says he is, will his shots land to net him the win or backfire? Between him and Venus, I almost feel like Venus has more precedent as a contender. I think Venus is receiving this mixed reception because she's a bit all over the place. She is basically beefed with everyone in her vicinity. Look, she is a blood circle, you don't enter the circle or you stand a good chance at getting shanked. It's that simple. I enjoy her quite a lot. I also tend to enjoy these scrappy underdogs, but man, her roller coaster journey is just a mile a minute. Her closest ally, who also used to be her biggest enemy, was just medevaced, and she's back to square one in the span of like, what, 2 episodes? She is definitely primed as a player to follow, and I can't wait to see where her journey goes next. But if I'm left to hedge my bets, I am basically left with only one name left on the cast, and it is not Jelinski, Jess, or Randon, who are secretly hidden away on the outcast tribe at Ponderosa. Weirdly by default, but also because I think there's a lot to talk about here, my last contender is Hunter, the camp counselor who doesn't really care to sing, is a bit of an introvert, but is a stellar provider for the tribe, incredible at challenges, and clearly has a strong social game. He is the biggest triple threat of this season, and yeah, Venus clocked him by episode 3, but then Venus is on a tribe of 1, so like, what is she gonna do? Oh god. Venus is totally flipping to take out Hunter at a key point later in the season, isn't she? Whatever, it's only episode 3. Hunter is a shield to be used, but he's also more than that. He is positioned well, he's got friends. I have to imagine with all the animosity in this cast so far, he is just gonna be this calming presence. And you know, who knows, maybe he goes deep enough and just finds a clearing and goes on an immunity run down the line with all those challenge hacks that he's putting out. Hunter, I see you. What is going on in this flashback? Does he have like a shed full of these things? And so those are my true contenders for the Survivor 46 cast. Maria, Jem, Tiffany, and Hunter. A pretty strong group of players if I do say so myself, but I want to ask you, who are your big 4? Who do you think is winning this season of Survivor? A big thanks to my patrons for all your support. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to brush up on your mythological figure analogies on your way out. Banu, isn't the top half of a mermaid just a human? And I will see you in the next one once I get this cast a box of tissues.
She's like this mermaid dragon. Mermaid up until here. When you look behind the rock, it's a big dragon tail. That's Kenzie.
You're like an angel with no wings.
So like a person.